Book it. Arch Manning is going to win the Heisman. I am in on that. And by the way, his granddad and Peyton probably should have won it, and Arch will. Can you imagine? He's replacing a Heisman favorite right now. I don't know if he'll win it this year, but Arch Manning will definitely win the Heisman at Texas.
4 to 6 days later.
Arch is more than capable, as I think we all know. He's got a lot of confidence from his teammates and trust from his teammates to go out and play. Had a really good week of work, understands the plan, and but it's different. It's different when you're the starting quarterback as opposed to coming in cold off the bench as a backup. So different challenge for him, but I know that he'll be more than ready to go out and operate and play football at a high level.
Let's freaking go, Arch Manning! Get hyped up for your season debut at Texas. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Steve Sarkisian confirming that Arch Manning will get the start over Quinn Ewers. The hype surrounding Arch Manning has only increased this past week with his excellent play against UTSA off the bench. With Texas playing against Monroe tomorrow, it should be an easy win for Texas. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. How will Arch Manning perform in his starting debut for Texas? I believe Arch Manning will be playing extremely good football. You look at the skill set of Arch Manning and you say, wow, this dude is a special football player. This guy has the ability to throw the deep ball really well. He's really accurate in the pocket as well. He also has more mobility than Quinn Ewers, and you have to say to yourself, wow, Texas has a stacked quarterback room. You look at how Arch Manning is probably the best backup quarterback in college football right now. And then you also look at Quinn Ewers and you say, wow, this guy is probably the best starting quarterback in college football right now. But when he got that abdominal strain injury, that led to Arch Manning throw for 4 touchdowns against UTSA off the bench. I know UTSA is not necessarily the best opponent for Texas to be going up against, but that was definitely a confidence builder for Arch Manning. He made the most out of his reps. That's why now he is getting the start against Monroe. Do I think Arch Manning will take over the job? Not this year, only because Quinn Ewers is really good in his own right. I believe Quinn Ewers will get the starting job back against Oklahoma 3 weeks from now, but we'll see how all of this plays out because Arch Manning now has a golden opportunity to prove himself on a national stage. And what a better way to start your debut than playing against Monroe, because that's going to be an easy opponent for Arch Manning to get comfortable against. As far as how his stat line will go, I believe Arch Manning will complete 70% of his passes. He's going to throw for 330 passing yards. He'll get 4 passing touchdowns, and I also believe Arch Manning will get a rushing touchdown. In fact, Arch Manning is going to absolutely dominate his competition tomorrow, and I expect him to have a big game. Also, watch out for Isaiah Bond as well. I would not be surprised if he gets a big game for Texas tomorrow at the wide receiver position. Isaiah Bond is one of the most underrated wide receivers in college football. Not enough people are giving Isaiah Bond credit for his success at Texas, and I really like the skill set of Isaiah Bond. You also look at the coaching of Steve Sarkisian as well. It's excellent. He's done an excellent job recruiting at Texas, and he's also done an excellent job at developing these players into the best versions of themselves. If Arch Manning did not commit to Texas, he probably would have been starting games last year in college football. That's how good Arch Manning has been in his own right. Arch Manning got this job because he has legitimate ability. When you watch Arch Manning play, you're thinking of him as a smaller version of Justin Herbert or a smaller version of Andrew Luck. But the good news for Arch Manning is he still has time to bulk up his body. Arch Manning is probably going to grow into a 6'4", 230-pound quarterback by the time he enters the 2026 NFL draft. But you look at Arch Manning right now, though, he's already pretty good for a quarterback his size at his age, and he has actual ability to throw the ball downfield. I also want to talk about what Paul Finebaum was saying on First Take about Arch Manning. I found his analysis on Texas rather interesting. Roll the film.
He proved that he can take this team to the national championship, and I know that Quinn Ewers has a lot more experience than Arch Manning, but what I saw from Arch Manning Saturday and what everyone saw has me convinced that there's really not much drop-off. The only drop-off is experience, but this guy is a Manning after all. He's been weaned on the game since the crib, and I give him credit. What I really give him credit for, Molly, was staying at Texas. Any other player would have departed for a couple of $1 million, and he could have earned that because of his name and his prowess. But he stayed there to wait his turn. He finally got it. And do we have a quarterback controversy? Yeah, we got the Heisman Trophy favorite, Quinn Ewers, at least until last week, now looking over his shoulder at the prodigal son. And quite frankly, I think Sark, whenever Ewers is back, we'll go with him. But at the first sign of trouble, the fans will want Arch Manning in there.
Well, if you're getting that kind of statement from Paul Finebaum, that means you're probably pretty good in your own right, because we all know that Paul Finebaum is an Alabama fanboy. So for him to praise Texas the way they did, that was certainly surprising to see. But I actually agree with Paul Finebaum completely. I don't normally agree with Paul Finebaum, but this is one of the rare takes that I agree with Paul Finebaum to an extent. Now, do I think Arch Manning holds the job for the rest of the season? No, I don't see that happening, because Quinn Ewers is an excellent quarterback in his own right. Quinn Ewers is going to get his job back, and he's going to finish where he started. You look at how when Quinn Ewers joined Texas, they were an absolute mess, and he has done nothing but improve the program every single year. You look at how Texas football is absolutely back and how they are one of the best teams in the country with Quinn Ewers at quarterback. It's just that he has a backup quarterback that is pretty good in his own right in Arch Manning. I love how iron sharpens iron in the Texas quarterback room, and how Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers have literally made each other better. I need to see people stop transferring to different universities after 1 year because their coach didn't give them a starting job. Look, Steve Sarkisian is doing it the old way. If you want to get a starting job in college football, you're going to have to earn it, and you're going to have to get your stripes by playing really good in practice, and you're going to push the starter to get better. And that's exactly what Arch Manning has done. Arch Manning's football mentality is in the correct place. He understands that in life, things are not given to him. Things have to be earned. And Quinn Ewers also understands that just because you're a good quarterback in college football, that does not entitle you to being a starting quarterback in college football. You have to work to constantly get better. And these statements can be applied in life as well. It's not necessarily just football that these statements apply to. In life, you're going to have to earn things that you want to get. But we'll see what happens with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. I believe both of these quarterbacks are really good in their own right. Arch Manning is more athletic than Quinn Ewers, but he also has less experience than Quinn Ewers. I truly believe that if Texas were to win a national championship, they need experience at the quarterback position, and Quinn Ewers provides the experience. He provides the mental toughness. And that's not to say that Arch Manning doesn't provide mental toughness, because the guy has plenty of mental toughness himself, but he doesn't have the experience Quinn Ewers has. Quinn Ewers has been on those Texas teams the last few years where they've been on the rise up. Arch Manning hasn't necessarily been in those locker rooms on a consistent basis. He was there last year, but he was more like the third string quarterback. I'm not really sure how much influence Arch Manning could have had over Texas last year, because he wasn't even necessarily the backup quarterback, but he played his job really well in practice. You also look at how Quinn Ewers has been able to elevate Texas football big time, and how he has made Arch Manning a better football player by being able to make Arch Manning earn the job by playing better in practice. I'm really excited to see what Texas can do. I really believe Texas can go finish the season with an undefeated record. They are stacked at every position. Quarterback is stacked. Running backs are stacked. Wide receivers are stacked. Tight end is pretty good. The defense is stacked as well. And of course, you got the elite coaching of Steve Sarkisian. Texas is set up for success in the short term and the long term. I believe Arch Manning is going to be an absolute baller tomorrow against Monroe. Expect him to throw for over 300 yards and to win the game in blowout fashion. I got this game being over by the beginning of the second quarter. Texas should win this game by at least 40 points. That's how good Arch Manning and Texas will play against Monroe tomorrow. So that is why Arch Manning will perform very well in his starting debut for Texas. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm going to shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinAsTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinAsTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinAsTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.